On the surface, it's an out of distribution generalization. Right? He is talking about something that hasn't happened in the past. That is the idea that there is a non-biological intelligence that is also agentic. There is this question: is it inevitable that it's going to be agentic? Is it inevitable that it is going to outperform people and life on Earth on everything that it's doing? And these are open questions. And they're very speculative, and a lot of people are appalled by the nature that these are speculative questions, especially people who think computers cannot possibly surpass human intelligence, think this is preposterous in a way, this is hubristic. There are also people who argue that in some sense we are maybe not the smartest thing on the planet right now. Maybe the smartest thing on the planet is Gaia. Maybe it's the spirit of life on Earth. Basically the combined intelligence of all organisms that are coherent to some degree. And maybe we don't see the workings of Gaia because to get an understanding across organisms on life on Earth may take decades or centuries. Right? So this is operating at a much, much slower time scale. But maybe at this time scale there are things that we cannot see that are smarter than us and that are able to deal with such a possibility that we cannot see. The question of whether a mechanism that we are building is able to outsmart the existing intelligence on the planet that has developed during the last 4 billion years, that's a very interesting and speculative question. We don't actually know what the limitations are of our actions. But I think what we can see is that our species itself is not sustainable in its present civilization. Our present civilization is in a mode that seems to suggest that we have evolved to burn the oil, and that's it. Right? We're not able to stop ourselves from doing that. And we seem to be running into resource constraints and into, for instance, environmental pollution issues, into sustainability constraints due to resource use, and into global warming issues because of our fossil fuel use. And our entire industrial progress is still predicated on fossil fuel use. Right? Despite all our progress in renewables, the amount of fossil fuels that we're using is still increasing. And we cannot replace fossil fuels in many of the pipelines that we're currently building, and we're not actually seriously planning for it, despite us talking about it. So it seems to me that our civilization as it exists right now is running into problems. And these problems can only be solved by better information processing, I think, or facing a total collapse and hoping that we don't go extinct and can rebuild. Right? So to me, the probability of doom without artificial intelligence, not at the level of extinction of life on Earth, because I don't think that life on Earth is going to go extinct anytime soon, but for our civilization, for our mode of being, for beings that are not being eaten by tigers, that are not dying in the next winter in large numbers, that have high child mortality, that have all these things that were normal a few hundred years ago, but they're not completely unthinkable to us. This is in peril. Right? This mode of existence that is not animalistic that we have right now, this very privileged, smooth civilization where food is almost free for almost every human being almost all of the time, where we mostly deal with all ailments, where we have a chance to die with dignity and without pain. Right? This is unique for conscious beings and also for the human condition on this planet. And this is in peril. And if this is what we see as already something that would be doom if this is happening, if we lose this civilization, then P-doom is very high without AI. It's very difficult to turn our civilization around in something sustainable without going back into something that is horrible in between. And so I think that there is a big chance that AI, when we deploy it responsibly, can help us. And I don't see that it's inevitable that we will lose control over the technologies that we are building.